to believe that they're going to do either a completely different set or close to it. Maybe even some classics that they normally don't play, which would be really cool, by the way, because they haven't done those in, how long?
Well, it all depends. I mean, they always sprinkle classics in, but then there's certain ones that you would love to hear that they used to play that they don't play anymore. But, they brought Aces High back, when they did Somewhere in Time, which was incredible. I mean, I always wanted to hear that live. I got to hear that live, but, they don't do Flight of Icarus. They don't do, oh my gosh. I mean, there's so many other, Moonchild, a lot of stuff off of Seventh Son they don't really do any more of, except for, Can I Play with Madness? And
Somewhere in Time, they don't do anything.
Yeah, so I would love to hear some of that stuff. I mean, they did the Clairvoyant a while ago, and they took that off the set list now, and that's a great track. There's so many songs they could do. Yeah, good call with Somewhere in Time. There's like nothing off of that album they really play, well, except for Wasted Years. But right. Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to see. Hopefully, they change it up a little bit to where it gives you what all the classics you want to hear: The Run to the Hills, The Number of the Beast. Hallowed Be Thy Name, but then you also get new stuff, because Book of Souls is a great album, but then you also hopefully get some things that you just haven't heard in, ever. I sure as hell hope they do that. And to your point, Biv, if they're coming back to Chicago, it's not like they're hitting a new city, this time around. I gotta think they're going to add some things to it. I hope.
Well, they were just here less than a year ago.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, for Christ's sake, they have to do something. They know many of those fans are the same fans.
And what's funny is it doesn't really matter who the opening band is. I'm going to see Maiden anyway, because unfortunately, and I've seen Bullet for My Valentine, I've seen so many bands open up for Maiden, and they're just screwed in the first place. And not every band. I saw Motorhead and Dio open up for Maiden, which was fucking awesome. And that was maybe a year or two before Dio, passed away, and obviously Lemmy's gone too. So it was great to be able to see that show. That was great. But most of the time, you're seeing bands like the Raven Age. And Lauren Harris, Steve Harris's daughter, had a band that sucked that opened for them. Bullet for My Valentine opens for them. And it doesn't matter who they are. They're just going to get flipped off and booed the entire time because they're not Iron Maiden. So,
didn't Bruce's son have a band that toured with them for a while, too?
Was it? Maybe was that the Raven Age then? I don't know who it was. The last band, one of the band members' kid was in a band. I don't remember who it was, but I know Steve Harris's daughter was in a band, and they opened up for him. They're all bad most of the time. So it is good to see that at least, even though Ghost continues the supporting band of shit that usually opens up for Iron Maiden, it is nice to see that Camelot and Exodus will be a part of it. That I will want to definitely check out. It won't just be one of those, let me show up before Maiden takes the stage, and here I am to watch the show. I'll be there at the very, very beginning.
You know why they're called Ghost?
Why?
Because we shouldn't see them, that's why.
No, we shouldn't. My God.
No. That's why. They're bad. Let me ask you a question. Now, you've seen Maiden quite a few times.
Yeah.
And you saw Maiden this past year, right? What was it, June, maybe?
No, it was cold. And it was at the United Center. October? No. February or March. Dude, okay. I don't remember. It was cold.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. How much were those tickets?
Oh, man, I don't know. $70 maybe?
Okay, so what do you think is going to be with, let's face it, whether we like it or not, Ghost does draw, right?
Uh-huh.
Exodus is a killer band from, like you said, way back in the thrash metal days. Camelot has been on headlining tours of their own.
Yeah.
What do you think those tickets are going to run? I mean, because now we're going to talk a little bit about this later, but we know that Iron Maiden wants to make sure these bands get paid, right?
I wouldn't go that far. I don't know. I don't know what the draw is.
Okay, I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what the ticket prices are going to be. I know the pre-sale started today, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
I would love to know how much those tickets are going to be. I mean, are we looking at $100, $120, $150?
Oh, I don't think they're much more than $100. I'd be shocked if they were.
But even if they're $100, to have at least three really good bands. Well, Iron Maiden's awesome. Camelot's awesome. Exodus, yeah, I mean, I like them. I'm not going to go see them just for Exodus. But I'd totally go see Camelot.
Sure.
So, that being said, I guess I'm a little surprised they're coming back this soon. I mean, the world's a big place. There's a lot of places they haven't been. But I guess they just kind of go to where the draw is, and that's fine. So, I wanted to kind of bring that up. Obviously Iron Maiden is probably the biggest name in metal today, maybe other than Metallica. Maybe Guns N' Roses, although you could call them hard rock. But they're at least one of the top 3 or 4 names in metal today.
Sure, and I think they're also coming back. I mean, they're coming back in the summertime here in the States, so it's warm. They're playing outdoor venues, so maybe that's part of it. Obviously, the last time around they played indoors. Now they're playing outdoors, it seems like, for almost this entire tour. So maybe that's the reason for wanting to come back and enjoy the weather here in the States during the summer, to sweat your ass off and listen to some heavy metal. So
yeah, awesome. So, the last story I want to get to is the supergroup known as Metal Allegiance. Have you seen this?
I haven't, no.
Okay, so normally supergroups, I can take them, leave them, whatever. But this is a group that is made up of many, many different artists to not only do a live show or two, but also to record an EP. And this group includes, now listen to these names: Dave Ellefson,
okay,
Alex Skolnick,
okay,
Mike Portnoy.
Oh, dude.
Hold on. I haven't even hit, I'm not even at 25% of who's in this thing yet.
Well, just that alone is a pretty killer. I mean, your rhythm section's pretty badass right there.
Yeah, it really is. Marty Friedman, Gus G, Vinny Appice. Hold on. Chuck Billy from Testament.
Oh,
Billy
dude, I love
Sheehan
Chuck
from
Billy.
the Winery Dogs. I mean, I haven't seen a lineup that talented since the last Avantasia album. I mean, that's phenomenal.
That's awesome, man. Holy shit.
So they did an EP. This flew under the radar. Now, you know me. I've got my ear to the ground. I'm always, as you like to say, scouring the interwebs for, new music that's out there. I did not even see this come out.
I didn't
but apparently it came out in August.
Shut up.
August 12th, 2016. The band united to pay homage to 3 legends: Lemmy, David Bowie, and Glenn Frey.
Okay.
Stating that, the news of Lemmy's passing, and this is all from Blabbermouth, by the way. I don't want to plagiarize. This is from Blabbermouth. And they just reported this, too, so they were behind the scenes as well. It's not just me. But they took the passing of Lemmy very hard, and they decided after many of these artists were people that had opened for Motorhead, on either Motorhead's cruise, the motorboat cruise, or other various gigs. And so they all wanted to get together. Now, as you know, we talked about this a few episodes ago. I'm done with the whole Lemmy tribute thing.
By the way, updates. Have you got your Lemmy Motorhead statue fully bronzed and erected in your front yard yet? Has that happened, or are you still waiting for it to be completely finished?
Well, I do, along with my gazing globe and my statue of a couple of midgets.
Oh,
that's what I have right now.
And they're gazing up at Lemmy, I'm guessing?
Yes, they are.
Oh, sweet.
So
I got to check that out, dude. I haven't been down in Kensington Place Studios Southern Command for quite some time.
Right.
But
and you'll appreciate the statue of him playing video poker, too.
So it's not him with the bass up on stage.
No.
It's just him sitting in a bar stool playing video poker.
Not just any bar stool. He's at the Rainbow, dude.
Well, of course.
So, anyway, I just thought it was, even though I'm kind of done with the whole Lemmy thing, I thought it was cool that they got, that much talent got together.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I want to check that out.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out, too, just because. Anyway, that's the news.
That's the latest in metal news. Thanks, Biv.
Hey, what's going on? This is Eli Santana from Holy Grail, and you're listening to According to Metal.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I sent Jason an article. And now, normally, in years past, when I would send an article or a tune for him to check out, he'd check it out right away. Or he'd read the article right away, and then we'd talk about it, because we're metalheads. That's what we do. But we decided when we created the show that we weren't going to do that anymore. Instead, we were going to talk about it on the show.
Yeah, make it authentic, Yeah,
exactly. So we have not talked about this. We really don't know what the other one's opinion is. One of us may or may not be playing devil's advocate on this. we're going to let you figure it out. And we're going to lay this out for you. It's a very interesting topic. And Jason, I'll let you describe exactly the article I sent you and what we're about to go over.
Sure. The article essentially is talking about a growing practice, which as a fan of music and as a metalhead, I didn't realize was as prevalent as apparently it is, because we've actually behind the scenes even had some conversation with some artists and some musicians, and even had it on the Facebook page of, what do you guys think of this? And we got some pretty amazing feedback, and that is the idea that, we just talked about that in the news segment, of opening bands essentially paying to play, to get onto a bill, to get onto a tour with originally it was King Diamond, wasn't that the article where it talks about?
Yes.
Yeah, it was basically King Diamond saying, hey, who wants to come on tour with King Diamond? You're going to pay us some money. And it brought up a really interesting topic that I read about, and I'm like, okay. Biv has his own opinions on it, and again, to his point, we haven't shared them with each other here. We figured instead of doing it, in a way where we have normal banter back and forth, we're going to do this People's Court Judge Wapner style, and I'm going to play a lawyer arguing my case. Biv's going to play a lawyer arguing his case, and we'll let you decide, who's being devil's advocate here and maybe doesn't really believe their side, but they're going to try to convince us otherwise, and also what your thoughts and opinions are on this. So especially at the end of this episode, we'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on this, and especially if you're an artist who listens to the show, we really want to hear from you in regards to that. But I will start in Judge Wapner's courtroom by saying that I am going to be in defense of the opening acts that are asked to pay to play to get onto a tour. And I will state the case that I think it is absolutely absurd in today's day and age in which music sales have come to almost a crashing halt, in times in which music is almost considered free, in times in which people are being able to download music illegally with really no ramifications whatsoever, to be able to tour and sell merch is really the only way you can make music in the first place. How many bands have we talked to on the show? How many bands do you know of that have day jobs, and on the weekends or maybe when they can get some time off of work, they do a mini tour with the rest of the band? Tons of them. They usually have to fund this shit themselves, let alone have to pay to get onto a show, to tour around the country for the honor and the privilege to play for King fucking Diamond or any other half-assed metal band that is probably charging money just because they're not making it themselves. So that's the way they generate revenue, instead of, getting on stage and putting on a killer show and having people be interested in your shit in the first place. So I think it's absurd that bands are now in the practice of charging other bands to even be, you can pay for the privilege of having your bus be parked next to ours to join us on stage after we're done. We'll be long gone. We probably won't even talk to you or give a shit, but thanks for the money. I think it's ridiculous.
Okay. All right. Valid arguments. Those were pretty good. Now, give me some room here because I'm about to destroy you. All right?
Okay.
So, first of all, you made my argument for me. In a day and age where CD sales have plummeted to the point of nothingness, all right, these bands who have spent years, if not decades, building their clientele like a King Diamond or a Dream Theater or an Iron Maiden or a Metallica or any other band, their revenue has dried up. All right, now maybe if you're Metallica or an Iron Maiden, maybe not so much. But if you're King Diamond, who's, let's face it, not a huge name in the metal industry, I mean, yeah, they're fairly big, but not huge. They're not Metallica, all right? So these bands, their revenue has dried up. Concert tickets have plummeted. Let's face it, from 10 years ago, remember when they were $200 a piece, $300? All right? They are not making the money or anywhere near the money they used to make. So what they've done is they've built a clientele of people who are coming to see them. And those bands feel like, hey, listen, we've spent 30 years or 20 years or whatever it is developing this following, this clientele, and we're going to